Okay, so assuming they can hear us now, just getting confirmation on that. Then we'll be good to go. Okay, perfect. They hear us both.
Good.
Great. So for, I don't know if anyone actually, we'll say this for the sake of the recording since it just started, but I'm Justin and I'm playing Interstellar Marines with one of the members of 0 Point Software. If you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everybody, my name is Kim Johnson, I'm the game director here at 0 Point Software. And / graphics artist, lighting artist, and yeah, I have a lot of hats, but...
Nice. So this is the Neurogen incident, and
yes.
It's pretty terrifying, actually, if I say so myself.
Good to hear, good to hear. Yeah, so we placed this on a Megalodon dropship, like in a special force configuration. So you can see the Ford insertion chairs here where you configure your gear. I guess we don't have that yet. So when flying into mid, you configure your setup and then you have your commander in charge over here, and then basically once at the insertion point, you jump out the back and it's mission on from there.
Nice.
So we kind of try to simulate it here.
Yeah, the first time I played, I didn't know I was actually supposed to go out here, and I thought I was supposed to go through this door.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I opened this, and then after I left and the door closed, I was like, no, let me back in. This is scary out here.
And the reason why we closed that door into the dropship cockpit is because if it was open, we would have to have pilots, and since this is a training mission, we didn't want to spoil the illusion, so it's just, closed. I'm not sure how many have noticed, but you can actually...
Oh, wow.
You can... It's like every light in here is fully destructible. Not a lot of people think to shoot out lights, but yeah. Gives a bit of performance as well.
So, this update came out last week, right?
Yeah.
And it's essentially like just a part of the story, a small slice of it? Or is it its own sort of story?
It's actually an incident that happened in the backstory leading up to the whole Interstellar Marines program. It ties into the development program to create the Soldiers of Tomorrow and various other prototypes. So the idea is that for the training of the Interstellar Marines, ITO has spent a lot of resources to try and recreate a few specific missions from past that, basically to rerun them again as many times as they want to see if they can get different results. But it's kind of spoiling it, I guess. See if I can help you. Playing on a used server, then it's gonna be a bit of lag, I guess.
And so the first time I played this, I thought...
Go.
I should ask, is friendly fire on?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a second shooter, we need that, I guess, to be...
I will try not to murder you.
It's okay. You can always revive me, I guess. Which you couldn't in Raven Shield and Ghost Recon. If you hit your friend, you would be out.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we have a lot of tactical, tribute in the game. It's one of our core pillars. So friendly fire and things like enemies doing real damage is one of the key pillars.
So the first time I played this, I thought I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be, a run and gun shooter, and then it was all dark, and then these terrifying robots started storming me, and I literally jumped out of my seat. It was so scary, and I was like, "Is this a horror game?" Because I'm terrified right now.
Oh, I'm glad. It warms my heart. It's not because I want to be a horror game per se, but obviously the elements of it, in this case, without light and the train robots being a bit aggressive. The train robots here simulating scientists gone absolutely berserk. It's not that evident, but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've picked up some of the audio logs when I was playing on this. Also, if you want to sort of lead the way.
Yeah, let's go turn on the second power core.
We
have it up.
I think I've skipped that one. Oh, okay.
It's not that obvious. The next iteration is gonna have clear waypoints. Just couldn't find the time to put it in. it's kind of a beast, this update, because we're pushing Unity to the absolute edge. I mean, the build crashed if we try to play it in the editor, because it's 32-bit application Unity, and the map runs at around 3 gigs when you load it in. So yeah, there's a few sacrifices here and there, but it's iteration 1, and every feature and every central technology we create to deliver this will help us deliver more awesome content, and always, I mean, it will always allow us also to go back in and polish this as we go. The idea is that this is the welcome mission for new people entering the program, so it's just gonna get better and better with the more awesome robots and props and performance as well.
So,
I usually be able to use the doors if there's power, but not these two yet.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So in like future updates and stuff like that, are you adding sort of more to this experience aside from just optimization, or is this pretty much the little self-contained story that it is?
We have many. I mean, it's the same self-contained story, but since it's the like a central part of the background story of what went wrong in some ITO development projects, and since it's the welcome mission to enter the program, we're gonna give it more love with time. I mean, and since we're developing a platform, every feature that we create, let's say for a new weapon, or we make the robots more intelligent or the guards better, it'll affect this mission as well. And then we might obviously there's a lot of performance we want to look at, and with time we want to add more secrets to this world. I mean, this mission as well, and flesh out the story a bit more. So it's a canvas for working with that first mission people will play.
Okay.
But that's about it. Let's exit out here, Justin. I mean, because the waypoint we have there is supposed to be like a true tactical shooter. One of 2 control rooms we can get to, since there's an A and B cargo area. It pretty much doesn't matter which way we go.
Okay.
We could get there using the vents. We could get there using this cargo elevator. It's basically up to us to get to the objective and clear path.
So when you come out with like a full release and more co-op missions, are there going to be more enemy types than these very terrifying robots?
I mean, in the
main ones.
In the prologue, which we're working on now, which is your training to become an Interstellar Marine, ITO is using these training robots for basically simulating every type of conceivable human biped enemy. So it could be hostages, it could be terrorists, it could be, in this case, the scientists infected by a lethal virus, making them going absolutely berserk. It could be elite soldiers, it could be like special forces soldiers. So they'll be back in various shapes and forms for simulating enemies in various training mission scenarios.
Okay, and sometimes they'll have like weapons if they're elite soldiers, obviously, right?
Yeah, and they might have gear on them as well. And as we flesh out the potential for the train robot, I mean, it is the idea that ITO, the training AI, and ITO, which states these training missions, basically can use them to configure any type of enemy or NPC they need for setting up a mission. And then once prologue completes and you become an Interstellar Marine and you start your career, then it's out into the solar system, and that's the big ambition. I mean, our big goals, but obviously it's a huge ambition. So just working on this is also quite big for us. So
yeah, the experience sounds massive. If you have this whole sort of separate area of the game where it's just this training, right? And then you become an Interstellar Marine, and now all of a sudden you're thrown out into the real world.
Yeah, and the reason for that is actually because it's a playground for us to create features, and it's a way for us to get people playing and get support as we go. It's no secret that it is kind of like creating the whole Halo trilogy independent without a finance from a publisher, one small step at a time. So it is, I mean, hopefully it's possible. I mean, I'll certainly work until the end of time to make it happen, but it's a very ambitious setup, I guess, because it's a lot of weapons, it's a lot of enemy types, a lot of story and environments. So but with interactive entertainment, like in games, once you have that foundation, you can build on it, and it'll make it easier and easier for us to develop cool stuff. It's actually a bit buggy in this build. The new robots we have for Iteration 2, they are much more movable, which yeah, it's gonna help a bit.
So since the end game is gonna take up so much, like it's gonna basically take up a lot of time in the player's, like the character in the game's life, because he goes through training and then all this. Is there going to be any sort of like skill progression that you know add to versus like, oh, this is my first day on the job, and then like, oh, now I'm a veteran Marine?
I mean, one of the core pillars of Interstellar Marines is role-playing, and we have tactical, and then we have cinematic storytelling. So we always say like it's Half-Life meets System Shock giving birth to Raven Shield in space. But for the prologue experience and developing role-playing as we go, that's actually quite challenging, because although it's a role-playing like Deus Ex and System Shock, at heart we want to deliver that type of role-playing experience. It's really quite complicated to do it as we develop. So it's something we'll develop in the background, and at some point we'll introduce you to the first steps of role-playing. So this elevator will be working in the next update, but for now we'll take the boring stairs up.
Okay.
Yeah, let me not put words in your mouth. I mean, the first time I do it, you could live with it, but it grows old. But
yeah, the first time I did it, I thought maybe I was going like the wrong way or something like that, just because there was so much stairs.
Ah.
At the same time, every time I turned a corner, I was like a little bit more terrified of what I'm gonna find. I'm like, is there gonna be a bunch of robots here? Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, what about this next one?
Yeah, but I mean, role playing is yeah, it's, let's be honest, it's the reason. So this is the access to research. I mean, it is really from playing way too much Raven Shield and Ghost Recon, and way too much System Shock 2 and Deus Ex and Half-Life and Fear and Far Cry. We could even consider that a cinematic experience. And in between those experiences, we felt that there was this experience where you were elite sold in the future, tied to a secret program. You don't know what it's all about, and you enlist and you enter this world where mankind has colonized most of the solar system. So for us, those three pillars: role-playing, cinematic storytelling, and tactical shooter. I mean, that we felt that hadn't really been combined before. I mean, because in System Shock, it's really a role-player, right? It's not really a shooter. I mean, you do have weapons, but they're a bit understimulating. But they have, whoa, there's a guard.
That one had a gun. Yeah.
And like in tactical shooters, it's always very simple setup. You have terrorists on an oil rig, and you just go to kill them all. Where games like Half-Life and Far Cry, I mean, they introduced you to a setup. Oh, whoa! So I played this way too much. So I just go for the head. I mean, we're playing on normal, I guess. If we crank it up to realistic, it's not going to be this easy.
Yeah, I mean, even on normal, it puts up quite a challenge, which is definitely good. Not a lot of hand-holding.
So it might not be obvious, but these three locations is key members and their, I mean, a possible position for their key card to enter research. But to get the power online for the doors out here, we have to go to the basement to find a power box somewhere.
Gotcha. This is the farthest I've gotten. Basically got down here to turn the power on, and then I died, and I couldn't get rezzed essentially, so we might have been playing on very hard.
Okay. Yeah. So there is a corner. I mean, we have one waypoint over here. Is probably the right one. Proceed to that. I mean, the problem with the guards they can be pretty lethal with their weapons. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I made it. I mean, to us it's super simple. I mean, whoa! No experience is really combined tactical role playing with tactical gameplay with role playing and inside a cinematic story. So that's basically what we're trying to achieve with Interstellar Marines, and this is actually the first step that we've come up. I mean, delivered a bit of the co-op tactical part of it, science fiction, but not much of the role playing yet, and not much of the cinematic storytelling yet as well.
So how's if some people might have seen when we first exited the ship, outside the window we could see Earth. this is in the future. How's Earth doing? Is it hanging in there?
Yeah, Earth is doing fine. It's not a in the utopian universe. It's not like a Mad Max universe either. It's actually, I mean, it's doing pretty well. We have Mars colonies. We live on the moon. Whoa. Okay, this. I mean, I need to get to cover. Okay, we got guards. Okay, this is where the non-scripted AI comes into play, I think. Whoa.
Down.
Okay, let's not die here. Where are you? Oh, you're down here. Go.
I was sort of right
Okay,
at that entrance.
yes. Let's get to safety somewhere. Ah! I'm in the toilet, getting killed. I'm guessing you can't find me. Oh, it would be nice if you could get me back online.
Alright.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we have guards inbound. So yeah, but we live on the moon, we live on Mars colonies, we have asteroid colonies, we have space stations, so it's, I wouldn't call it a utopian universe, but we have basically colonized the whole solar system, and we're doing pretty well, mankind. And then ITO, which is the Interplanetary Treaty Organization at that point in time, a military organization based on NATO, the NATO alliance. Okay, here we go. They've started researching into technology that would allow us to colonize another solar system. So that's actually something that's happening behind closed doors, and the reason why they're developing the Interstellar Warfare Initiative, where the robots, not the robots, whoa. So to support this endeavor into the stars, ITO is working on creating soldiers. Creating soldiers means training soldiers. So they have invited the best special forces from all its member countries, and then they are developing genetic warfare experiments and robotics experiments and avionics experiments, and that's what we're a part of. And that world is our entry into that story and the colonization of another solar system. Okay. Now we need to go to these randomized locations. I don't see any other waypoints.
Okay, cool. So the key cards are going to be in a different place each time.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's simple now, but I mean the true scope of Interstellar is to make each experience as randomized as possible. That's why the AI is complete and unscripted. Whoa.
So now downstairs we were fighting these the robots that simulated, scientists gone mad, and up here we're facing guards, right? They got guns.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind, like, why are the guards shooting us? I know it's a training simulation, but is it just they're hostile guards and we're like invading an enemy base essentially?
There's a few other logs explaining, or at least trying to explaining it. I mean, the Neurogen pharmaceutical company is working on like taking genes from plants and mutating them, and to see if they can create like a compound for curing Alzheimer's and stuff like that. And they have a subcontract for ITO, and ITO is really interested in some of the research because it has shown that some of the prototypes is actually had the effect on the brain to like prohibit, or what do you call when you like de-stimulate the sense of fear and stuff like that. And so one of the lead scientists, the Dr. Barbero, he has a contract with ITO to see how far he can take that research, because if you could take a soldier and give him like a substance that would like equalize the brain to reduce fear, it would be very, very interesting. An interesting compound to give you soldiers before they went into war. So that's what the research is on here, and obviously something always go wrong. There you go, dynamic lights. Something always goes wrong, and it ends up like spreading throughout the ventilation system, and that substance that he researched onto spread out into the ventilation, and all the scientists and all the guards and everyone got that compound, and basically the brain equalized it to complete maniacs. So basically, it stimulates the sense of rage, and it takes away the fear and stuff like that. So you just have the raw ability to survive and kill, I guess, back. I could explain a bit more detail and more interesting, but that's... And then the mercs coming in, that's the pharmaceutical and ITO, or the pharmaceutical company. They hired a private mercenary company to go in and secure the research. And ITO obviously sent a Black Ops team, not us, in the real mission back in the day. They sent a Black Ops team, and it really went to shit, the entire experience, because us fighting mercs and the compound turned out to be very effective. So that's why we are running a simulation now for the Interstellar Marines to see if we could analyze what went wrong in that insurgency. Because ITO has another development program where they really want to the ability to control the the setup of one of the genetic experiments. And if I say the land shark, you would probably laugh, but it's actually part of that program to see if they could somehow control the what do you call it when animals have like an instinct? Yeah, because the sharks or the genetic engineered creatures' instinct is not necessarily very frightening. They're not gonna kill unless they're hungry. So maybe using like some kind of stimulant that Neurogen has researched on here, how could they then program them to be... did we find a keycard? Yeah, we did. Okay, so we have to go to research now.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out where to go at the same time. I was talking about the backstory seems super interesting, so I didn't want to interrupt.
No, it's fine. We just want... I mean, obviously it's about fleshing that out and making it clear, and hopefully in the grand scheme of things, once it becomes clear to us as well as the players, there's going to be like an interesting canvas for simulating all sorts of missions that the Interstellar Marines go through, because the entire prologue program, I mean, we call it prologue, but the Project IM, which is the candidacy to take the special forces here, we have to go here, Justin.
Oh.
Research. So this entire training setup, which is the backstory for the Interstellar Marines, full story, it is centered around basically a small career where you train your soldier to see if you can qualify for the Interstellar Marines program. And then you could imagine various challenges and missions being simulated for you to rank up your character and as you go through the program. Oh, okay, I was about to hit you in the back there, sorry.
So you play as... you're going to follow the same character through the whole campaign, or do you play as multiple characters?
We've talked about making the ability to create more characters like like Borderlands, because it would be interesting to do that if you wanted, but... Oh, shit. Okay. But for the entirety of Prologue, the idea is that you're one of these candidate special forces for the Interstellar Marines program, and you basically level up your character and progress your career to come out at the end. And then obviously once that is fully realized at some point, we don't know when, we have the idea is to have like an end game you qualify for, where you get the conclusion of the Interstellar Marines program. I mean, this Prologue training setup. Whoa. Which at the moment is primarily multiplayer, Marines against Marines, and now with the co-op update is this mission as well. Okay, I'll follow you. I have a robot against me, I'll just close the door here. Shit. Okay, so let's go to another location. I mean, it's iteration 1 of moving the players around from objective to objective, so it's not that like... We don't have any like sub storytelling going on, which could help it. Only audio logs, but it could definitely be an opportunity to expand the... Yeah, you never know what these... Ah, shit. Okay, I'll just have to regain my health here.
So I noticed that every time you get hit, your HUD and everything goes offline temporarily for, you know, a couple seconds. I don't know if this is the right way, by the way.
It is. There's a waypoint up here. You might want to check that, Justin.
Oh, gotcha.
It's to your left. It is actually to simulate that the rounds we're firing are taser rounds, and the secondary effects of those is that they go into the suit and basically disables the rebreather and the...
Okay.
And at some point, I mean, when it's not taser rounds anymore and it's live armor, it's going to be a bit of both. I mean, blood splatting on the face and taking real damage, your armor absorbing some damage, but for now it's just basically that loop of military training where you have the rounds going in affecting the suit, making your visor go offline, you lose your rebreather and you lose your HUD information. Okay.
So you said on the ship that you can eventually you'll be able to customize your loadout and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, are there like defined character classes that you can choose from, or do you sort of build your own from like, your own play style?
It's absolutely a flat rope RPG system, so it's as flat as it gets. You have 3 different categories you upgrade your character in. Character training, which is like agility, strength, stuff like that, which affects your physical attributes. And then you have your weapons training, where you unlock more extensions and you become faster and more adapt with your weapons. And then you have equipment, and equipment is basically a whole set of tools that you unlock and qualify for using skills and experience. So you might get an upgrade for your visor with infrared, or a bigger backpack, or a sentry unit, or a deployable camera, or things like that. And then it all ties into you unlocking access to those as you progress your character. So it is as flat as it gets. I guess you could compare it a bit like to System Shock, or I mean, those are the 2. We need to find we found the keycard, Justin.
Yeah.
Again, not super obvious because Sarah's not really talking too much in this iteration, but we need to go down here. So you basically start the game at some point with like 3 shops: your character, your weapons, and your equipment, and you just take it from there. And it's absolutely up to you where you want to specialize. I mean, you could be a stealthy, rocket jumping medic nice. If that's what you want. And the idea is that it all ties into the price they have, so it's all exponential systems. Whoa. Okay, now I have to be a bit careful if spawn in. They're not that fast at reacting, the bots, but when they hit hard. We've changed that in the latest iterations as well. Have you played the original Deus Ex?
I have maybe like way back when. I played its sequels more thoroughly, and then I played the reboot or whatever that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah. But I mean, if you imagine, for example, like your strength trait, it's a really simple setup, right? You have that specific ability in your character system, and it's just an exponential upgrade. So you go from 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, so it becomes more and more expensive, and each time you upgrade, your basic overall level goes up. That's those specific benefits or unlocks from being level 3 strength. You might be able to carry a bigger armor that you then unlock in the equipment inventory setup shop. So it's I feel like okay, this could be dangerous. We're pretty good here. Whoa! Ah, shit. Again, you have to save me.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I was reloading.
And that's where the game becomes very relentless. I mean, at the moment, it's like a tribute to the old tactical shooters. If you die, you're out, so you take care of your life. But it might be a bit too much. You might want to tie it to difficulty at some point. So if you play on easy or normal, Sarah grants you a few revives, like auto revives if you play alone on co-op. And then on realistic, you have to look out for your life.
And Sarah is she an AI that's like running
Yes.
the training?
Yeah, Sarah is our central ITO AI that basically are in charge of everything. So that's that was about a half an hour run. We got almost to the mainframe. We were actually only supposed to go out and get to crew to exit the space station. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is a rescue mission?
It was initially a mission to go in and get the research, but that didn't quite happen. So I mean, I'm not sure. You should see the end. We put a bit of work in it, but it's still like us trying to give like a revelation of what this is all about, because this is actually deep beneath the center of. Not the center of the Earth, but it's deep beneath Nevada desert in one of ITO's military facilities where we're training. So they actually created this big space dome where they host missions where they get to as close to reality as possible. So all the space you see outside is basically screens projecting space, and we have a final effect at the end that reveals that. So, yeah.
So I have a couple questions coming in from the chat, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
I know there isn't one right now because we've both been down, but they asked if there's going to be a fight for your life when you're down. So, you know, can you sort of like take out your pistol and defend yourself while you're waiting on your teammates to bring you back?
I mean, for the whole medical role-playing loop, we have a concept called Deadly Wounded, which is, and we have this central energy called Constitution, which ties into everything you do, like holding aim steady or hacking something or reviving someone. You use that Constitution, and the more power you have, like if you've sprinted less or are really fresh, you do a faster job. So that Constitution is also used to laying Deadly Wounded. And you can, in that case, we'll give you as many options to fight for your life. So it might range from, depending on your level, it might range from 30 seconds to 10 seconds, depending on if you've been sprinting or hacking or things like that. And then the idea is that the enemies firing at you or near you can affect that Constitution as well. So there's going to be like secondary implications to working together, making sure that like you suppress the enemy, so the guy reviving another guy is as effective as possible, because you know if he's taking hits, or if there's landing fire, like coming in fire close to you, he's gonna be affected by that. But yeah, that's the short answer is that there's gonna be a period called Deadly Wounded where you can fight for your life in various situations. Obviously,
cool.
You might be
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty interesting. It sounds more than just, you know, relying on your pistol and waiting for a clock to tick down. Another question about weapon upgrades and how do they work? I know you talked earlier about like the flat class system, but within those classes, is it like you upgrade individual guns or weapons, or is it sort of just, you know, your base weapon stat increases across all? So if I wanted to be, you know, increase my skill with like shotguns over fully automatics or something like that, how does that happen?
Each weapon type has its own like sub tree of training. So when you use submachine guns or shotguns or assault rifles or sniper rifles, each type has its own training tree. So as you use, you invest more skill points into assault rifles, you unlock more extensions for assault rifles in general, and the reload speed and the general handling of the assault rifle class will be better and faster and more adapted with time. But you have to do it for each class. And then at each like type area, there's going to be like a super skill you unlock. It's not a perk, but it's something that you'll be able to reload in Zoom or things like that for each particular. So you'll be very effective with each type once you max them out. And as you unlock or invest skill points into each type, your reload speed goes up, and like I said, you get more and more extensions for that particular weapon type, and things like how steady your aim is and how the swap speed of the weapon, all those like first person mechanics, we take them in and we make a difference with them. And we actually did a prototype with that in our shooting gallery called Bullseye, where we took the training of a weapon from over 17 levels and actually showed that reload speed, magazine capacity, recoil and stuff like that, if you take it away to give it back, it's a really satisfying journey, which I guess is how it's just how we want it. I mean, it's something where each upgrade should have an effect. It's not like a small percentage. That's why you're probably only gonna have 3 reload speeds per weapon type. So each time you finally get that reload training, I mean, you get so comfortable with a particular weapon type that you go up in reload speed, it's going to make a difference significantly. And that basically ties out to everything. Another example, for example, if you take one of the equipment upgrades to the PDA, like the ability to remote hack electrical systems, the range of that hack goes up as you invest into that specific area. And you can do so at any time. It just has a price to go up. I mean, the first upgrade might give you the ability to wireless hack within 20 meters, and you can only hack security cameras maybe. And as you go invest more and more skill points into that specific hacking ability on the PDA, you'll be able to hack more things like security systems and doors and lights and sentry units, and you'll be faster and more effective using less energy, the less constitution doing it. So that's actually how all the role-playing elements ties into like a very simple setup and very flat for everything.
Nice. So, well, it looks like that light finally died. Did you want to try to run a little bit again, or are you out of time? We could?
No, I'm fine. I mean, sure. We have an hour, so let's go crazy.
Great. Thanks for answering all these questions too. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely a pleasure.
I'll fire another one your way while we're just going through this, and just for those people who are watching, you might have seen me like walk up to some of these and ignore them. They're audio logs, and it basically tells a little bit of the backstory. And I've basically just been ignoring them so you guys can hear us talk versus, listening to the background. But we've seemed to cover a little bit about that. These are scientists and they've gone mad, essentially. But another user wants to know if there are any plans to release a demo for the game or for any of the modes in the game.
I mean, we might. I mean, everything we do right now is focused on getting more of the core features and more of the core technology in place so we can develop faster and more intelligently. This push to co-op, I mean, on the feature side, we got most of the tech from building the multiplayer aspect, which we've been developing through all last year. But I mean, the features we get in, it really has to be prioritized because doing a demo, for example, like you said, is something that will take time away from doing some other core features that might prevent us from doing some other stuff. So it could be a strategic choice. That was a very vague answer. I mean, we might do a demo.
It's fine if you make a demo, it's going to take longer to make the game. Basically, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
it's a small team. People got to understand, this isn't a huge, multi-hundred, team publisher or developer or anything like that. So
it's definitely borderline lunatic thing about the ambitions and the team size and being completely independent. I mean, if the idea is just to hammer on and create more features and add more content and make it worthwhile for people who have bought the game, but it's very ambitious. I mean, somebody would say it's probably like one of those things where you need millions of dollars to complete, but we'll just take it one step at a time. Hopefully one day we'll do a DayZ and we don't really have to worry too much about that, but that's not now, definitely.
So in terms of characters and who you can play as, are all of the soldiers going to be male, or can you make a female character as well?
No, they're absolutely dual sex. I mean, we even have like dual nationalities because all the member countries of NATO and in the future ITO, I mean, that's England and Canada and US and Denmark. So it's going to be completely up to you which type of marine you want to create. And at some point, we hopefully will be able to have like facial, like trait character customization as well. So you can,
okay. So
because you
build your own character, not just who they are, but how they look and stuff too.
No. I mean, in Interstellar Marines, in the entire story and the full scope of things, you are the protagonist, and the character you create you're not Halo, you're not Lara Croft. You're that special forces soldier with that face and that identity and that nationality that you want. So that's
So are there going to be dedicated servers or the ability to purchase dedicated servers?
right now we are hosting dedicated servers. I mean, enough for how many that wants to play at the moment. We were this close. I mean, very close to releasing the ability to host servers ourselves. But because our server code is fairly fragile and we don't have any real good anti-cheat in there as well, couldn't afford Fairfight. That would have been really nice to have. Then at the moment we want to keep the server code to ourselves. So right now it's dedicated servers that we host. We've talked to i3D, which is our server providers, that people might be able to host servers themselves, which could be possible at some point. I mean, all the footwork has certainly been created for that. So basically, you, I guess, pay i3D a bit of money and they... Whoa! How the hell? That's a bug. There's not supposed to be any mercs here. But, I mean, that's the random spawning. Sometimes it's too random.
That's great. The one time I loaded this up and I joined a game that was already in progress and they were pretty far ahead. But I started in the ship and there was actually there was a bot in the ship.
Whoa, okay.
And I would, early access, I understand, but it was really funny because I was like, oh hey, this is very, just kicking it off early, guys.
Oh shit, yeah. So the larger scope you create or the big ambitions you have, I guess the more bugs you introduce. We really prefer not to have too many bugs, but this is a new gold medal for us in terms of bugs, that's for sure. But yeah, we'll get them one at a time as we flesh out this experience even more. Whoa, that was a tough hit. I got. Thank you.
Yep. Oh.
Ah.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm reloading. Ah.
Oh shit! Didn't even make it out of docking bay.
That's embarrassing. So I saw last time we died these training point rewards, and then when we were in the ship, it said like 30 more to next level or something like that. Is that that's the experience basically, and like how you level up?
Oh, we actually separated the experience from training points because we don't have the role-playing system, fleshed out yet, and we don't even have like the core for it. So training points is something you're rewarded, which is more ties into how much time you've spent. It's basically, yeah, it's like how many times have Sarah rewarded you points for winning a match or killing a robot and things like that. So it is more like a rank than it is a skill level. Skill points is going to be XP points, and that's yeah. But you can imagine like in an alpha game and in a game that's being developed, fleshing out a role-playing system. When do you add it? I mean, do you take everybody down to a low level to go up a level for the weapons or the character traits, or do you wait until you have like more of the core systems in place and then drop a role-playing system on top of that? We haven't really figured it out yet, but it's definitely something that will be coming.
And then someone asked about the enemies, and maybe they joined late. So right now we're only fighting robots because this is a training simulation, and these robots are simulating scientists gone mad. So the idea is that this is the prologue of the game. This is pretty early, and eventually you become an actual soldier, like you complete training and you're going to fight other enemies.
Definitely, yeah.
But for those watching, maybe you saw briefly we ran into an enemy recently who had a gun that simulated a guard, and again it's a robot because this is training.
Yeah.
But eventually, we'll fight people. Will we fight anything that's not human or robot?
That's definitely 100% sure that's gonna happen.
Oh, cool.
I mean, ITO is working on for the warfare program. They're working on training these special forces candidates from the member countries, and then they're working on robotic engineering. And we have this ED 209 Titan Walker, which is part of the robotics program for the Interstellar Warfare Initiative. And the Interstellar Warfare Initiative, which we are part of, is like a program designed to create like a setup for securing mankind's interest when we start going out into space. And part of that, a third prototype of that program is the genetics program, and that's where ITO is really experimenting with interesting stuff like mixing genes of animals to create like the ultimate biological creature. So in their mind, it's about creating 3 types of warfare machines, like robots, genetically engineered creatures, and super soldiers. And so we are 1 out of 3 prototypes to help ITO secure the cosmos, so to speak. So it's no secret that you're going to be facing the other 2 prototypes at some point, which are the genetics creatures and the robots as well. But past the program, you'll go into the real world, and then as we build up the story towards what will eventually become First Contact, you go to Mars, and you get to on a mission to the moon, and you go back to ITO headquarters, and then at some point we launch you on a special prototype vessel called the ATV Falco, which has the ability to jump ahead of into space and move to our colony, where we have a military colony out in space, and that's where the first contact with another sentient species is slowly becoming into reality, and we're part of that front line, and that's where the real story picks up in the beginning of First Contact, the first full campaign that we're still only dreaming about.
So how are you planning to release this? Is it going to be like episodic updates, or you're going to release a main game and then come out with content that can be purchased later, or are you guys still working that out?
It's going to be, I mean, when we do the First Contact update, it's going to be something we've been working on in the background, and everything we work on now is kind of like the canvas for technology and features to allow us to do that at some point. But for now, it's updates to Prologue to create the technology and give people new experiences as we work with that concept, and then as we get more features working in the engine room, we'll be able to deliver that. I mean, that I wouldn't call it, probably not episodic, but it's going to be a section at a time. But we might split that up into small pieces. I mean, for us, it's just one big experience, right? And the only reason people talk trilogies because it's what movies do and it's what games do. I mean, so how we cut it up and deliver it, it still remains to be seen, actually. Ooh, that almost looked like his head flew off. It did? No. Yes, this is one of the performance issues we have right now. When we turn on this light, we don't really occlude the light properly, so we drive way too much light at this point, which takes the frame rate down a bit. But we're hoping to fix that soon. Like I said, I don't think anybody's pushed Unity this far, so we're still looking into maybe splitting the mission up into 3 sections or streaming it in, and yeah.
So how far? So we got upstairs and we did a little bit there and then died. How far would you say that was in the mission?
We were pretty close. We did hack the mainframe and we got the results that we needed. So the only thing we had to do from that point was exit the research labs, go back to crew quarters for the big finale ending, leading out of the space station. So I would say we were pretty close.
Okay. And does it? So this is you can play this single player and you can also play it up to 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
Does the amount of enemies vary depending on how many players you have, or is it the same no matter who's playing?
No, they don't actually at the moment because we have performance issues, but we would like it to vary a bit when you go up to hard and realistic, but they don't at the moment. What will happen, or what happens now, is that the accuracy and the damage of the enemies go up a bit to make it a bit more tactical. But still, I mean, the damage the weapons do is supposed to be the same, so it's more like how accurate they are and how fast they react, things like that. That'll change its difficulty, because we really want, if you play tactical, you should be able to create complete realistic. It's not like we want to create an impossible game to complete.
And this right here, what we're seeing out the window, is the moon, right?
Yes,
Earth's
sir.
moon.
Yeah. Again, here you could take out. I don't know why I would do that, but in the next generation we have more like systems fluctuations going on and things that flicker and blinks because there's been combat here. So it looks a bit weird that all lights just perfectly fine working. I mean, you could imagine if I kept... Oh, I couldn't even damage that one. Okay.
But yeah, I shot one of the ones on the ship and it started blinking for a while before it actually went out.
Yeah, went into damage.
Oh, we have to turn the power on, that's right.
Oh, that's a... Oh, there's a guard down here.
There is an override switch in the lower section of this tab.
Okay. Oh, co-op prop fighting for the button. Yeah.
Alright, we're live.
Whoa. I took his hands up, and sometimes they do that.
Yeah, I saw, like, because of you're aiming the light in their eyes, which I hadn't noticed before, but I thought it was pretty cool.
But it's like steps right towards getting a more... Whoa! We have a guard behind us, I think. Somebody's firing.
Got him. So are there going to be... Right now we can pretty much just use our guns, and that's it. Is there going to be any sort of... Whoa! Oh, I'm down. And I'm up.
Still there?
Thank
Shit.
you.
Oh, cool. Sorry?
So are there going to be any... I guess sort of like tactical moves, like can you like, you know, sprint and slide? Can you like kick or melee, anything like that?
I mean, there's gonna be much more movement abilities, and it sometimes it feels a bit... I mean, again, with the ambitions, like every time we talk about movement, I always go into advanced movement, which we don't really have, but we definitely want to have the ability to like pole vault over obstacles or crouch slide and even run over there and grab the ledge and climb up, if that's what you so choose. For us, it's not about having like parkour like in Mirror's Edge, but it's about basically just giving the player the movement freedom that you could expect the real soldiers to have. So, but again, that's always... Oh, sorry for crossfire.
Oh, I'm down.
Okay, let's get you online before I die. Oh. Woo! Thank you. Yeah, so it ties into that basic ambition of creating a movement system that doesn't prevent you from exploring the environment or traversing the environment. I mean, it would be nice to come running here and just pole vault over the railing and just jump on your feet, but I mean, it's like we have to cut it somewhere, right? And the features we choose, I mean, they have to be pretty central to the core experience at the moment, but it is definitely our ambition to take movement a bit further than what you usually have in just run and gun shooters. But everything just again ties into that role-playing element called Constitution, where you have this central energy you basically use for everything, and how trained you are in a particular matter, that's how much and how fast you consume that energy. So if you run around like a ninja, obviously, unless you're very fit and your agility is really well upgraded, it's gonna take a lot of energy to jump around like a maniac. Okay, let's head to research.
So have you guys made or do you plan to make any sort of futuristic weapons and stuff as well? I know you talked earlier about like a controllable camera or something like that. Right now it just seems like we're using pretty standard assault rifles.
Yeah, And the honest truth is that watching Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and game, I mean, like Minority Report, you always get envious like that. We want those sci-fi weapons as well. So it's not that it's not that it's not coming. It's just we want to keep it simple as well. But we definitely want like jumping grenades and programmable EMP grenades. You can like time to proximity and maybe simple like non-lethal pulse weapons for stuff like that, or grenades that you can program. But it's not gonna be like Halo plasma rifles. But you can still expect futuristic designed weapons. They just have to be relatable. I mean, I guess the smart gun and a future LMG from Aliens, that's a good example of a sci-fi weapon that will fit this game very well. I mean,
so I haven't gotten to play any of the competitive multiplayer yet, but how is that sort of set up? Is it do you have just different modes? Is it just standard deathmatch right now?
We have a mode which is, I guess, not super advanced, but it's called Deadlock, and it tries to be a bit tactical, where you basically have to control a few tickets through a few areas around the map. But when you die, if you die, you're out until a teammate secures a control point. So it's a game mode that tries to balance us between, like, for example, Battlefield and Counter-Strike. Something that is a bit tactical, where if you die, you're out for 120 seconds, but you can come back in if your team mates play well and secure a capture point. But it's fairly basic, let's be honest.
Well, it seems a little bit unique. I mean, right now it seems like every multiplayer mode that's out that's it. Like, we're not seeing anything new. It's deathmatch, or it's capture the flag, or something like that.
I mean, what we tried to make it, I mean, one of the features we have at the moment, the dynamic lights, and in the multiplayer we have dynamic weather as well. And because it's a simulated environment, that canvas allows us to change the settings between, like, every 2 minutes. It goes from rain to thunder to pitch black, and that gives it an edge that flavors it a bit. But and within the context of training, it fits pretty well as well. And it makes it fairly unique, because you have to adapt your tactics to each time the environment change, and it can be pretty drastic changes happening. Okay, was there a waypoint down here? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how to get to it. Looks like it's below us.
We have to go through this barricade, and yeah, it would be nice to have like a counter that showed how long away it was,
yeah,
the distance to it, because it really doesn't give any feel. So it could be just next door, and it's actually just a dot. Go! Gunbutt. Okay, he's... Whoa! Shit, okay, there has to be another waypoint. Whoa!
I just shot you, sorry.
Oh, sorry. We haven't seen the bots fighting each other, because they can be on different teams, so you could have infected attacking the guards or the mercs. When that happens, that's pretty interesting. I think there's a waypoint over here as well. Okay, I think, it's up. Or is it down? Whoa! Okay, I have a guard up here firing. I'm not sure if that waypoint in there is that up or down, or remains to be seen.
There's one next to us.
Let's head to the mainframe. I mean, we have a bug that if we get to complete this, that might kick in, and that's the the ability to transport 2 people on a out of the mission.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see if that becomes a problem. We just fix it in the...
Oh,
whoa.
down.
Okay, I have to... Let's hide. Where is he? Sweeping with his back moving forward, that's not very tactical, but
Well,
it's Merc AI 01, the 1-0 iteration.
yeah. I guess he's a robot, so if we're smarter than him, that's good for us.
No.
Oh, buddy. Just wanted to say hey.
Oh, we have guards down here, yes.
So, oh, here's some...
Cool.
So right now, is it just mouse and keyboard, or does it also have controller support?
Officially, I mean, like supported from us, it's just mouse and keyboard, but we did see a guy on the internet, one of our community members, that managed to get it all working with a PS4 controller.
Okay.
So it's not that it's impossible for us, we just haven't really prioritized it yet. But I guess with Steam OS and potential console versions, not console versions, but yeah, it would be nice to have controller support, definitely. Whoa, that was close.
Console versions, eh? Planning a console release? Or is it
Maybe it's an option for expansion, I guess, at some point if we have a hitter on our hands.
on down?
Whoa, go. Oh shit, that was lucky.
Down again.
Oh shit,
Oh, we're
I
both
shouldn't have
down?
died there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's okay.
Good fight, Justin.
Yeah, definitely. Got pretty chaotic. So right now in the story, in the training, it's real, right? Like it's not a computer simulation. We're actually on this space station fighting robots.
Primary mission
I mean,
objective.
the training itself is as real as it gets, but the entire space station simulation that this mission is constructed around, that's like 2 kilometers beneath the soil of Nevada desert, inside the ITO's one of their big military compounds.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you can imagine a 500 meter by 500 meter sphere able to project various hemispheres and space, and then you have the ability to construct various rooms and things in the middle. So that's part of the training and how it's constructed here. And obviously we want to keep the illusion for people playing that this is, I mean, you're in space and it's the real thing, and then I'm giving away spoilers, sorry for saying,
It's cool.
Then
I
at the
mean,
end, when you exit the space, sorry.
the game seems so massive that anything that you're really telling us seems just like little crumbs and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's all part of a elusive, crazy plan to create the ultimate game ever.
as long as you're not getting in trouble for telling us this stuff, we're fine with
Well,
it, and I'm sure
I mean,
the fans
I
don't mind.
I hate giving away spoilers, but completing this will give you a bit of insight to where you are and what's going on.
Okay,
And you're definitely not in space.
great. So this was Interstellar Marines. It's out now on early access for I forget how much. Is about $20 or something like that.
$18, $19, yeah.
Great. And what we've been playing is just a small part of it. It's just the co-op update that came out last week. There's also competitive multiplayer, and then you can also go at this single player. And then if you guys have been watching and listening, you understand that there's a hell of a lot more